everybody and welcome back to my channel, and this week I've got something very exciting to tell you because I got my placement. Thank you. So excited. I'm a bit like ahead of the curve because some people are still looking and applying and interviewing and all of that jazz, so I thought it was only fair that I shared my experience, how I managed it, my tips and hints that I picked up along the way, and share them with you guys. I'm going to start off by explaining what my placement is and then go into how I got it. So if you don't really care about my placement personally, skip a little bit ahead, but if you want to find out more, just keep watching. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm an events management student at the University of Greenwich, hence my placement is an events management placement, and we have to do a minimum of 9 months, but it can go up to 12 months for our year in industry. And I have bagged my placement with Cam and Hooper. Cam and Hooper are an event agency that are venue based across Bank and Central London, and so I'll be working across 2 venues. And I'm super excited. I'm going to be on the sales team, so it's finding clients, making them like the venues that we've got and seeing how they can envisage their events in our venues. I started looking for placements around August, September time, which is pretty early. Obviously I'm still on summer holidays then, but I just wanted to kind of get a feel for what was around, what I kind of wanted to look into and what was like so not me. It helped by doing work experience before, so I knew I didn't want to do event operations. I wanted to be more on the sales side, on the office side of it, rather than like polishing cutlery and stuff. So that was definitely more for me, so it was a good way to filter through some of the jobs, because events management is quite broad and probably your subjects are quite broad, so there's a lot of different avenues you can go into. So I think having some work experience is number one, because it helps you kind of filter out what you know you're not interested in, and B, just kind of if you have a feeling that you're not interested in that or that's not what you want to do, filter out those as well, because if you're not interested in it now, I doubt you will be in a year's time. So I managed to get this placement because I knew someone. I think that is like the main, I don't know, good luck charm if you know someone. So one of my best friends, her sister works for Cam and Hooper, so I messaged her before. We had like a few conversations via email about whether to do event management degree or not, which I've got another video on, plug down below. But yeah, so we had a few conversations before, so I was friendly with her, I knew her, and I kind of just emailed her around early September time to ask whether it would be possible, which meant we had a meeting in September, me and her. We went around a few of the venues, she told me about the company, which gave me like a few pointers that I could go off and learn from and like look into, so that if I ever did get an interview, I would have a few things in my belt that I knew already. Going from there, she passed me on to her manager, and her manager asked to see me, so I went for an interview. Although he never called it an interview, it was more of a informal chat about what I wanted and whether they were the right company for that. So we met at all of the venues, had a cup of tea and a conversation, and we got on really well. And then he emailed me the next week to tell me I got it, which was crazy. So basically my tips and hints for getting a placement is work your contacts. If you have people who know people, fab, because Cameron Hooper wasn't an advertised placement, they made a placement for me. So I didn't have any competition that I was going up against, which is hugely comforting to know, because I applied for placements in the Hilton and Disney. Like, imagine how many event management students are applying for a Disney placement. So if you're like a finance student applying to IBM or something, they're going to have thousands and thousands of applicants, whereas if you know someone who can give you the same kind of experience that you're looking for, why not go for it? Because I didn't have any competition that I was going up against. It was either they liked me or they didn't, which kind of lowers the pressure a little bit. I also think if you know someone, it's also really good because they can act as one of your references. Obviously, if the person you know likes you, they can big you up to their manager and say, give her a go, she's great, like she's got this and this going for her, and they're more likely to listen to one of their already employees than a CV or a cover letter among the other hundreds that they've got in the post. My other tip would be to set alerts on Indeed and all of the placement websites, so you are the first to know when they come up, so you can apply as soon as you can, because it does get quite overwhelming, as well as deadlines and stuff that you've got to keep applying and interviewing for all of these placements. So if you're one of the first to know and you can just get it done, then it takes a lot of the pressure away, and it means you don't have to sit there for hours trolling through all of the like ones that aren't really what you're looking for and kind of ignore those ones. I would also say Google. Now, as I said, like, no other person was going for the job that I was going for because it didn't exist. So if there's companies that you love that are maybe not huge corporate companies but like lesser known companies, just email them. Like that's how I got a job at the Hilton from doing that as well back in Bournemouth. So if there's a company you really want to work for, like the O2, or you want to work for Disney, or you want to work for like a fashion brand, email them because they might have something coming up, they just haven't advertised it yet. So there's no harm emailing. Like just email their general like customer inquiry thing and say like, hey, I was looking to talk to someone about placement, who would be the best contact to talk about that with? And more often than not they'll send you an email address for someone who will be able to put you in the right place. I would say link your CV with that as well, just so they know that you're serious about it, you're not just kind of waste time, and they can kind of see from that whether you'd be right for the job or not, and whether it's even worth sending you the right email address. I would also say tailor your cover letter for each company. Do not be one of those people who make a really generic cover letter, because they can tell them from a mile away. You can see them from miles and miles off if it's just kind of generic and stuff. You want to tailor it to the specification, and you want to name drop as much as possible. Like literally, Cameron Hooper, Cameron Hooper, Cameron Hooper. Like just so they know that you are passionate about it, like you're focused, you know what you want, and like obviously it's their name, they like hearing their own name, and it's just a really easy way to tailor your cover letter to the placement. And obviously the cover letter is probably going to be the first thing they see, so if they like your cover letter, they'll read your CV, and next thing you know, you'll be going in for an interview. I would also say, I know it's really easy to lie on interviews because you get a bit nervous and they ask you a question and you just kind of agree with everything. I would say try really hard not to do that, because the placement is for you, it's not really to benefit them. Like if you're going for a job, sure, like try and be what they want because you want that job, but they're looking for someone to work for them. In a placement, it's more they need to work for you because you're the one who's hoping to get the experience and the worth and the value from that placement. So if you're kind of trying to fit yourself into a placement which you know isn't going to work for you, and you know that like their culture doesn't fit the way you work or whatever, it's really going to like hinder you by applying to that placement knowing that it's just not going to work. My other tip for applying for placements is apply to as many as you can. Obviously don't apply for ones that really don't interest you, but if there's a couple that you're like, yeah, maybe, apply for them, because it could turn out to be better than you think once you talk to them and realise like a deeper understanding of what they do. You might find out that it fits what you're looking for, but also it's really great practice to like have the interview process and everything again and again and again, so that when you apply for one that you really want and they come back to you saying, yeah, we've got an interview for you, you're not as nervous because you've done it like 20 times before. You know, it's a good learning curve experience and it will help you in the long run. Another tip would be to look on like your school's dashboard and stuff. Like my school has a business employability school, so they post loads of jobs up on there. So if your school has one of those, maybe on like your university intranet or whatever, have a look on there, because sometimes your university will partner with businesses, which means you have like the exclusive chance to apply, like no other universities can apply to that placement, which obviously brings down the numbers a lot, and obviously means that you are what they're looking for because you come from that university, which already gives you a head start. So definitely look on those and apply to those if there are any that interest you. So that's it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe down below. I post videos every Tuesday, and I'll see you next week. Bye!